And welcome in to be our guest. If you turn on the news each and every day, you find out that there are a lot of hot spots around the world, and there's a lot of wars that are in progress right now. And one of the big areas that's a hot spot is the Mideast. So today I thought I'd go to an expert and have with us Phillip Ensler, and you are the executive director of the Jewish Federation of Central Alabama.
That's correct, and I don't know that I'm an expert, but certainly know and follow the issue closely. And with the federation, we partner and do a lot of work in Israel. So glad to be here and looking forward to talking about it.
And that's good because we need to know from our own perspective what we can do. People need to realize Israel is not this big mega country out there. 9.2 million people. That's it. That's your population.
That's right, and geographically, it's about the size of the state of New Jersey. And for anyone who knows their geography, New Jersey is one of the smallest, states there is, as far as landmass. So it really is, from Israel, from north to south, east to west. It is a very small country, but obviously, right, very, very significant historically and also today.
And in your country right now, about a third of the population is 17 years of age and younger.
Right.
So it's a young population.
It is, and a lot, as far as just, growing the country, as far as economic opportunities, all the things we care about here, having good schools, having good things to do. And of course, the most important, though, safety. And everyone, who lives there, whether they're older or younger, just wants to live in a safe way, in a peaceful way. And as you said, it's a hot spot. There's a lot of hostile surrounding neighbors. But fortunately also, though, there are increasingly partners in the Middle East that want to work with Israel, and
Absolutely.
we need to have more of that.
And what happens is, obviously, it's a small group, but it's a very, as you say, it's a hostile group. I mean, somebody that says Hamas, death to Israel, but also death to America.
Right.
That's their prerogative. And you have to realize, a country like Iran, 89 million people compared to 9.2 million people in Israel.
Right, and talking about the geography, I mean, right now you have from the north part of Israel, Hezbollah, which is firing rockets. You had Hamas firing rockets then as well from the east, and then to have Iran, that has the capabilities of sending rockets. So Israel's constantly in this defensive posture. And look, they want to have peace. They want to coexist with Palestinians, with Lebanese, with everyone in the region, but certainly if those hostile entities are going to attack Israel, Israel's going to be defensive and say, look, we have to look out for our people, just the way the United States does, and any other country should protect its citizens.
Well, and what's going on right now was not provoked by Israel.
It's not.
No, last October there was an atrocious thing happened, and basically you can do one of two things. Hamas does not want to stop doing what they're doing. So you have to stop them from doing it.
Right, and Hamas's founding charter, in there it says that they want to destroy Israel. And so that is what they are committed to doing. So Israel has to be able to and rightfully defend itself. Now, I'm a big believer that we should ultimately have peace between Israelis and Palestinians. I think we all want that. But certainly, we have to make sure that the way the United States dealt with al-Qaeda and with the Taliban, Israel is going to deal with Hamas to make sure that threat is neutralized.
Yeah, there's always a faction that's not going to want the peace process to happen. And that's exactly what we have to be concerned about as we go along. And right now, what can we do as a country? I'm very shocked at the amount of protests that happened that are pro-Hamas protests in this country. It was a real eye-opener, and I hope for a lot of our viewers it was an eye-opener, because we think, okay, everything is just kind of hunky-dory, so to speak, but basically it wasn't.
Sure, and I think, like any difficult time, for residents here to let Jewish people know that they support them, that they care about them, that makes a big difference. Certainly paying attention to what elected officials, where they stand on the issue, and really more on a federal level and dealing with Congress, but thinking about, support in that sense. But really in general, just making sure from our churches, to community groups, to schools and families, just in Montgomery, as long as we look out for each other and recognize that humanity, we can't always change what's happening overseas, but we can be there for each other here.
And that's a very important point, because we need to be able to show our support. That's the reason I have you sitting in this chair today, is because we support what's going on, and we need to be able to let our people know that if we don't do something, we can be our own victims.
Right. No, and we have to, it's so important to make sure that the United States, stands with allies and those that support democracy and human rights throughout the world. And look, I think it's important to acknowledge that there is a lot of innocent Palestinians that are suffering,
Yes.
that are in horrible circumstances. But of course, your earlier point, Hamas is to blame in the sense that they have decided that they are going to carry out terrorism and that they are going to hide among civilians. So my heart certainly goes out, to all the innocent Palestinians that are living, under this horrible regime. And we certainly want, peace for them, and all of their safety, and, just continue to pray and hope for that for everyone.
Amen. And what can we do as a people to show our support? Here in Montgomery and the River region, can we talk to our legislators and say, from a national perspective, we need to be supporting Israel?
Yeah, so certainly, reaching out to members of Congress. And look, this is a bipartisan issue. It doesn't matter.
It totally is, absolutely.
Democrat, Republican, Independent, but letting, them know, but also really, like I said, on a local level, just being there for each other. I think, at times we can get caught up in our own kind of silos or our own groups, but in Montgomery, making sure, whatever someone's background, whatever their identity, that we're letting them know that we care about them, that we welcome them, that makes a really big difference, to make sure that everyone feels included.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And just remember, it's all it takes is a reaching out of the hand, shake hands and say, I'm with you. Support is very important, and to have a friendship is most important. And we'll be right back right after this.